Dr. Shah, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day in Miami.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to speak to you coming into your partnership with Anua. So let's hop into this conversation. You are entering an exciting multi-year clinical partnership with Anua, which is rare for a K-beauty brand. What convinced you that Anua was a brand worth collaborating with? And what differentiates them from other K-beauty brands?
Right. So, well, first, I love K-beauty. I've been creating content on social media for 5 years plus. I was an early adopter of social media as a dermatologist and have been seeing patients for longer, right? And K-beauty has always been sort of a mystery. It's been hard to get and access. Before, we'd have to buy it from these online retailers, questionable online retailers sometimes, right? You didn't even know if it was going to be an authentic product or not. And now what we've seen in the last 2 years is that K-beauty has become a lot more accessible to American customers. And with that, there's a lot of interest, there's a lot of intrigue in it. And my patients are now asking about K-beauty all the time. Now, the question has always been, what is the science behind some of these formulas? The thing that has always stood out the most about K-beauty products to my patients and to me has been the texture element, the sensorial element. There are no American brands that can quite formulate with the same textural and experiential component that the K-beauty brands do. And organically, I became a user of the Anua products. A lot of them have gone viral on TikTok. I try everything that goes viral. And my patients ask me about these products, right? They'll ask me, what do you think about the Anua oil cleanser, right? And if I haven't tried it, I can't really give an opinion on it. And so organically started using a lot of these products in my routine. And one of the products I had fallen in love with was their azelaic acid formula, because there were really no azelaic acid formulas on the market that weren't really gritty for the skin. And so I started to see their superior formulation technology through some of the products as just a consumer myself. And now with them trying to enter the derm space in the United States, to me, this is an incredible opportunity. This is an East meets West type of thing where we get to bring all the sensorial and also the derm. They're developing this line with a Korean university. So you're bringing all this derm technology from Korea, things that are inspired from in-clinic in Korea, which a lot of Americans are now going to Korea to get cosmetic procedures done. So you're bringing that technology to the American consumer and also marrying it with some of the dermatology studies that we'll be doing in the US for the brand. And so to me, this is like the best thing that could ever happen for somebody who creates content, that sees patients, that loves skincare, loves the K-beauty experience. To be able to bring that into the US is a dream come true.
That's centered in credibility, right? And I'm wondering, how do you see carving out a meaningful role in the U.S. skincare landscape? And what do you believe is its strongest competitive edge for building long-term consumer trust?
So I think one is being able to, skincare, to get patients to use things, you need to have them enjoy using these products, right? If it's a bad experience, take sunscreen, for example. As a dermatologist, I'm telling all my patients always to wear sunscreen. But historically in the US, these sunscreens have been a terrible experience. Either they leave a white cast, they're really greasy, they're really oily, right? And so to have just a better experiential component is good for patient compliance, adherence, and also seeing results, right? The main objective is, what is the edge that Anua has, is this textural and sensorial component, which is not just because it's gonna make skincare more enjoyable and that's a good thing for the customer, but it's actually gonna lead to better results, because if you like wearing something, you'll actually use it, and if you use it, you'll actually see results. And then I think it's the innovation that they're able to bring and the speed at which they're able to bring it in. In Korea in general, a lot of the innovation in skincare for a long time, whether it be pimple patches that started in Korea or now PDRN, which is now sweeping the globe. These types of technologies, a lot of times they're starting in Korea, right? And so I think the edge is the innovation in ingredient formulation, the edge in the textural component, the speed at which they can innovate, and then their ability to do the clinical studies both in Korea and in the US. So I think bringing this all together, I think it gives you really what I call a lethal combination for success, and I think a game changer for our patients.
Definitely. And let's talk a little bit about barrier control, right? Anua has made barrier repair a central pillar of its brand and something that they believe that it's the essential part of any skincare routine. And this concern is central to the new Derma Barrier line that's launching in spring 2026, which we're so excited about. As you evaluated the formulations, what stood out to you the most?
I think there's probably two things in this barrier line that are really sort of interesting to me. And I'll again leave out the textural component because I do think like whatever is produced as a result of this is going to be one of the best experiences for customers and patients that any brand could ever produce, especially when we're talking about derm products in general, because historically derm products don't have a great experience, right? They're usually they're either tacky or they're sticky or they're heavy, right? But they get the job done because they have great ingredients. And so I think the ingredient portfolio is really interesting. You have two components. You have this pre-lipid precursor formulation, right? A lot of us have heard of ceramides. Ceramides is just one factor that plays a role in our barrier. Our barrier is made up of really three essential lipid combinations. It's ceramides, fatty acids, and cholesterol. And so you have this technology, but instead of it being the final end products of this, these are precursors. So basically when you apply them to the skin, your skin is able to use them to produce its own natural ceramides, its own natural cholesterol, its own natural lipids. And by doing that, you're actually training your skin to be healthier over time versus just giving it the ingredients, right? It's almost like, teaching someone to fish versus giving them a fish, right? And if you're just giving somebody ceramides, right, you're not giving the body the ability to naturally repair its skin barrier, becomes sort of reliant on those ceramides. But with these precursor lesions, ingredients, you're able to basically train it to be able to be better and healthier on its own. And so that technology is very unique, really. No one else is doing that. There's a few ceramide precursors on the market, but not for the entire barrier, the entire three things that we look for in a barrier. So that technology is very interesting. And then this lamellar technology, it's MLV technology that is essentially releasing these at the levels of the skin that you need them, right? So ceramide is very important in that top layer, stratum corneum layer of the skin. As we go deeper, these other lipids become important. And so to slowly release them in an encapsulation technology that's as complex as this, there's really nothing else like it.
Yes, I love that. Can you talk a little bit about the breathable yet deeply hydrating aspect of the new products?
Yeah, so that's one of the main endpoints that we need to be able to achieve here, right? And that's something that we're currently in the process of developing, is that textural component that's breathable for patients, right? Nobody likes anything that's heavy. Either it's going to be pore clogging for some of our patients, or they just don't like something heavy to sit on their skin. Maybe it's not going to layer properly under the makeup, right? So it's this ultimate sensorial experience, which is really the magic of K-Beauty that will not get lost through this partnership, right? We're going to bring in some of the dermatology science and working with the Korean university plus the dermatologists in the US, but also making sure that that sensorial, that break on the skin, the way that it layers on the skin, the non-greasy feeling, the non-tacky feeling, the absorption time, all of that is going to be part of that, right? It's going to basically create like a skin identical glove that doesn't feel heavy but repairs the skin barrier.
Awesome. So once you began working with the team, what was the co-development process like for the new Dermabarrier line? Can you walk us through the level of rigor, testing, and scientific structure behind the formulations?
So you have in Korea a lot of development that's happening on this line, right? So working with the Korean university, working with their in-house developers, which a lot of brands actually don't have. A lot of brands rely on outside labs to do the development, but they have their own in-house chemists and developers that are working on this line and coming up with these technologies and coming up with the white space that is missing from the US market, right? And then you're coming to the US with us and our team, working directly with me, developing both what are we looking for our patients, where are products currently falling short, and then developing clinical studies, working with other derm colleagues beyond myself, right? And this isn't something that is a one-day thing. This is a multi-year partnership with hours of development time that's going to take to get to that final product. And we're kind of in phase one right now of development of this, and already the technology is great. And now how do we continue to develop it? How do we continue to build it so that's actually solving our patient needs? And so that's the phase that we're currently in. And so over the course of this multi-year partnership, I think what we develop is going to be unlike anything else. And it's really the key thing is to be able to solve a true patient pain point better than anything else that exists on the market, but also make it something that consumers actually want to use.
And now you talked a little bit about the precursors earlier, but can you explain why that they matter and how more complete lipid approach supports long-term barrier repair?
Yeah, so it's like I said, these precursor ingredients are basically, it's the building blocks essentially of the house, right? And so when you give these ingredients like ceramides, which can be too large to get in the skin, a lot of times they're just sitting on top of the skin, right? When you take these smaller precursor building blocks, they get better penetration into the skin. They're also used by your body. We have natural components of the skin, stem cells at the bottom layer of the skin, the basal layer of the skin. And we also have deeper in the skin within the dermis, we have fibroblasts that produce collagen. And so these cells actually use building blocks to produce healthy skin cells, healthy lipids. And so by having these precursors, you're basically giving your skin the building blocks to rebuild a natural barrier. And whether it's environment, whether it's, it's really cold outside and it's really dry outside that's irritating your skin barrier, maybe it's products you're currently using that are irritating your skin. Maybe as we get older, a lot of my patients, they just produce less lipids. Their skin cells turn over slower. So basically this line, these precursor ingredients are giving your skin the building blocks it needs to continue to be healthy over time. And like I said, it's training your skin to be healthier rather than just giving your skin the ingredients it needs that it's going to need again tomorrow.
And like you said, your clients sometimes face changes within their skin because of their age or just going through life transitions. From a medical perspective, what signs of barrier breakdowns are you seeing most often in your clinic today? And how does Anua's barrier-focused approach address these concerns?
I've always felt that barrier is a hard word for my patients and dermatologists and customers online to really understand, like, what does it mean, your skin barrier? Your skin barrier, it protects you from the environment. It also keeps things in. And I always think about barrier in the sense of what happens when your barrier is not intact, right? And the most extreme scenario that happens, which is a bit gruesome for this interview, is when patients get really bad burns all over their body, right? And we see this, we have burn units in the United States. And when we look at patients who go through really bad burn injuries, this is the scenario in which your skin barrier is completely gone and completely damaged. What happens to these patients in this scenario is that they lose a lot of water to the environment, and they're also very prone to infection. And so your barrier is such an essential component. And I think the thing that's hard to understand is, what does a broken barrier look like? And it really looks different for everybody. It looks different depending on your skin tone, right? If you have lighter skin tone, a broken barrier might manifest as redness. If you have a darker skin tone, it might manifest as dark spots. And so everybody experiences barrier damage differently. But most commonly in my clinic, I see redness, and that can look like rosacea. It could look like just a baseline pinkness to the skin, a pink when you apply to the products. A lot of patients experience burning sensation when they apply products. It stings, it itches. A lot of patients will just notice dryness, right? Their skin is just always dry. It always feels super tight. And sometimes it's texture, right? They notice flakiness, their makeup isn't layering properly. So people experience barrier in different ways. And so I think the purpose of this line is to attack all signs of barrier damage and come up with a solution that's solving for all of those needs.
Definitely. And the brand emphasizes being gentle yet effective, which we just talked about, with barrier-safe formulations. How does the new exfoliant line embody that philosophy, and why is a barrier-safe approach to exfoliation so important right now?
Yeah, I think as social media has taken off, exfoliation has become such a big thing. And one of the challenges on social media has been that when an ingredient becomes popular, the concept is that people need more of it. So we start off with, 2% niacinamide, then we're at 5%, then we're at 10%, then we're at 20%, 30%, right? You get to the point where, and when you come to exfoliation, starting at 7%, okay, pretty gentle. Then you start to get up to 30, 40%, and you really start to damage the skin barrier, right? So as people have started to enjoy and like skincare more, they've started to choose products that can sometimes be more harsh because they think they'll get more efficacy from it. So from a derm perspective, we're always trying to balance efficacy. Like, how do we get the most effective results? Because people want to see results with their skin if they're going to be spending money on products. But how do we make them gentle enough on the skin so that you can use them either daily or frequently enough that you're actually going to see results, right? And so I think one of the purposes here with a Anua line is to come up with an exfoliation line that's gentle for our derm patients. And that's inspired, which I'm very excited about this. As we talk more and as we develop this more, these are inspired by in Korea clinic visits, peels that they're doing on their patients there, and chemical exfoliation that they're doing on their patients there to repair the barrier. So gentle, give you that really nice dewy glass skin, but also you see the results with the texture. And so this is using specific ingredient combinations that we actually don't even really offer here in the US. So it's a new ingredient story, along with the gentleness and the efficacy that we hope to build with this line.
I love that. And we all are aiming for dewy, nourished, glowy skin. With that said though, what are the biggest misconceptions you see among consumers around exfoliation, and how can a brand like Anua help reset expectations around safe and sustainable?
I think the biggest hurdle is the more is going to be more for you, right? So people are just looking for the highest number that they can find on packaging, which isn't always going to be the best result or what they need for their skin. I think people tend to over exfoliate, and they feel that, hey, if I'm feeling this product, right, maybe I'm scrubbing my face really hard, that means that it's working, right? And that's not necessarily true, right? A product, you don't need to feel anything necessarily for a product to be working. It doesn't need to tingle, it doesn't need to burn, right? So those are common misconceptions. And I think the concept that you need to even really exfoliate every single day, right? You know, it's finding that perfect balance. Some people, especially if you're acne prone or you have a lot of texture, maybe exfoliating every day is the right choice for you. But maybe you're somebody who doesn't have those issues. Maybe you have drier skin, maybe you're more sensitive skin, and maybe you only need to exfoliate twice a week, right? So it's trying to find that perfect balance of the right ingredient concentrations, balanced with the right barrier repairing ingredients, balanced with the right frequency to get the results that we're looking for. And so I think there's so much misconception on how frequently, how often, and how much ingredients you actually need, and what are those right ingredients for your skin type.
You know, US people are really viewing skin health as connected to overall health, where it's gut health as well, and stress and mental well-being. How are you seeing this mind-gut skin connection show up in your practice, and where does a barrier-focused brand like Anua fit within this broader shift?
So, I mean, I think we're on the precipice. I was saying earlier that there's this big push for longevity, and you kind of see it happening, but it's not quite, hasn't really quite broke the public consciousness yet, right? There's all these sort of wellness clubs developing, and the barrier to entry is so high, right? That you know, average people like you and I don't have access to these things yet, right? But that means that these conversations are starting to develop, and there's a concern. I mean, people are living longer, and people want to have a higher quality of life throughout that. And it's not just skin, right? It's everything, right? You want to be able to walk when you're older. You want to be able to move your hands when you're older. You want to be able to be cognitively there, right? And so I think I see this in my patients where they're trying to figure out, how do I just be healthier? Knowing that I'm going to live longer, I want the quality of my life as I live to be better. And that's from everything people consume to how they exercise, and then skincare as well, right? Because I think historically what I had seen early in my training was a lot of people were pursuing a lot of corrective procedures. So they had already developed really deep wrinkles, or had already developed really aggressive dark spots, and then they come into me and they want some type of very corrective, sort of aggressive treatment to reverse a lot of that damage. Now, leading up to that, they hadn't done a lot of sun protection. They hadn't done a lot of good skincare ingredients. And so I think right now where Anua sort of fits into this picture is this healthy aging and this preventative aging that a lot of people are pursuing towards that better longevity, higher quality of life as people age more gracefully, right? And so it's not these huge corrective procedures, but it's about what you do every day and what you're including. And I think barrier plays a big role in this, is like, what are you doing for your barrier every day so that, 10 years from now, you don't need the huge corrective procedure. And so I think that's where Anua fits in this, preventative, pre-aging, healthy aging part of the routine.
It's definitely about prevention. Many people, myself included, struggle with issues like hyperpigmentation, eczema, chronic dehydration, and even with following strict skincare routines. I'm really adamant on my strict skincare routine, but I'm still suffering from these things, unfortunately. What guidance would you give to those dealing with those concerns? And how can a barrier-first approach like Anua support more sustainable long-term improvement?
Yeah, so I think with those things, right, everyone's skin, my skin, everyone's skin, every patient, no matter how good your skin is, you go through these kind of ups and downs, right? And I always look at skincare as you're kind of, you're headed the right direction always, but there's gonna be ups and downs on the way there, right? So I think with everyone's skincare routine, they need to set sort of reasonable expectations of these ups and downs, right? You know, even if you're treating acne, maybe your breakouts are less, but you'll break out, and it's always bad when you're in that down part of the cycle where your skin is breaking out, but it's still towards a clearer skin, a healthier skin over time. And so I think people's expectations of like always having this filter looking skin, we need to set the expectation that social media is not, you know, the reality of what we see online. I think with, you know, sort of building these routines towards the future, I think what we want to do is create simplicity, realistic goals, and then I think the barrier line where this all fits into the equation to me is it really is that what I like about the barrier line, especially as a dermatologist, is it's not necessarily even a replacement for dermatology care. So there's this concept that, you know, okay, we have these reasonable expectations, we're using all the right products, we're still not seeing results. And I think the reality is that some people do need to come in and see a dermatologist, right? And these over-the-counter products that are available and these over-the-counter procedures that are available, whether you're using an LED mask or something else online, they're not maybe going to give you the results that you need. And then there is that need to go see a dermatologist. And then the barrier line not only fits pre going to see the dermatologist using the right products, but also post going to see a dermatologist. Because you might come see me and say, I have this resistant hyperpigmentation and I keep getting hyperpigmentation, I'm using all the right products, and I'm going to give you a prescription, or I'm going to do a laser procedure on you, or I'm going to do a chemical peel on you. But when I send you home, I'm going to give you this barrier line, because as your skin heals itself and as you're using your topical hydroquinone or tretinoin, the barrier line fits really well in there to have a nice moisturizer to help repair your skin barrier and give it the essential ceramides, the essential lipids that you need for it to fit. So what I like about this line is that not only is it in the pre-dermatology journey, it's also in the post-dermatology journey, and during that journey during your dermatologist, where it really fits into it. So it's not it's not a replacement for that. It's part of that sort of longer journey through your life. So it really fits into what we do as dermatologists.
I love that. It's fitting in all different aspects of your skincare journey, which is great. Looking ahead, what excites you most about Anua's future in the U.S. market and the role you hope to play in helping shape the next chapter of barrier-focused skincare?
Yeah, I have to say I'm super excited about this. Like I said, this is like an East meets West. It's my passion of skincare, my passion for my patients, the passions for the 20 million followers that I have on social media. I think being able to build something with a brand like Anua, who is innovative, who focuses on the textural element, that's always bringing exciting new things into the market, and to develop something for our patients with that Korean sensorial experience, with the technology that we're going to bring into this line. I mean, I think to me this is just, it's super exciting. I think the end result of what our patients get to experience and what everyone on social media gets to purchase, and I think it's very exciting to be able to work with such an innovative brand to bring something into the U.S. market that otherwise people wouldn't have access to. So I just don't think there's anything else I would rather do than something like this.
I love that, and I can feel your excitement. Thank you so much, Dr. Shah, for this amazing conversation, and congratulations again.
Thank you.